Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As you can't see Luke, now you can see Luke. What's going on, guys? It's Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and tonight was Monday Night Raw from the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana. But before we get into that, I got a rant about AEW and they're just dumb bullshit overbooking. So I'm going to pull an image here up on the screen from their Twitter. Let's go here. Get this pulled up on the screen. Because this is some just what the fuck are you doing, Tony Khan kind of bullshit. So, let me set this up before we get into this. During Raw, a video gets posted of Bryan Danielson talking about in this matchup coming with Moxley and then the 5th anniversary show on Wednesday. He then goes into stating that Okada beat him in January at the Tokyo Dome and he wants to defend the AEW World title against Okada this Wednesday on Dynamite. And I go, okay, don't like it, but it's whatever. Mox is the next in line for the title, but you're going to defend against somebody else. We know Okada's not going to win, whatever. Okay. But it gets worse, ladies and gentlemen. Both titles are on the line. But there's a caveat. There's a twist here. Look at what it says on the screen right here. AEW World title versus AEW Continental title. Continental title only at stake for the first 20 minutes. What? For the first 20? So are they telling us that this match has to go longer than 20 minutes? That this match will go longer than 20 minutes? Are we getting like a 30-minute Brian Kazuchika match? I'm so like, what the hell? I don't even have words. This is, when we say Tony Khan likes to overbook and he just books some of the dumbest fucking shit. Like, the match is going to be outstanding. We've seen it twice, maybe 3 times already in the past. Always great. But what is this stupid stipulation with the belts? Again, let me read this for you if you can't read it on the screen. AEW World title versus AEW Continental title. Continental title only at stake for the first 20 minutes. What? Again, makes no sense. So, Luke, are they telling us that this match has got to go more than 20 minutes or something? Is it them saying, well, you're going to get a match that's longer than 20 minutes? Like, is this match not going to end at 12 minutes, 15, 16, 17 minutes? 19 minutes and 29, 39, 59 seconds?
Honestly, like, I got it. Hold on. I got it. I know exactly. I know exactly what this is. They want the match to feel super important by putting both titles on the line, but they don't want Bryan winning both titles. They don't want to take a title off Okada, so you have Bryan beat him after 20 minutes. That's exactly what it is. But it's dumb. I was actually gonna say after that, like, maybe in those 20 minutes, maybe Christian Cage tries to cash in. Maybe like, oh, I'm going to try to win both belts or something.
Can he cash in during a match? We've never seen him try that. We've only seen him try to cash in after a match. So we don't know if he's even allowed to cash in during a match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
or like,
go for it.
Or like, let's say he's about to beat Okada, but then goes like a second or two over the 20-minute mark, realizing he won that other belt, and he's like, nope, it was over 20 minutes.
You're saying he just ends the match? They just stop the match after 20 minutes?
No, like he wins. Like he pins Okada.
Right.
But it's like, he didn't pin him in time, though. Right, he pins him like over the 20-second mark.
That's what I'm saying. That's probably what they're doing. They want the match to feel super important, being a title versus title match, but they don't want to take the title off of Okada. That's what it is. Stupid. Like, are you fucking kidding me? We've seen Tony Khan with some crazy, nonsensical, what the hell stipulations before, but this one takes the cake. This one takes the goddamn cake, ladies and gentlemen. Like, really? Really? Like, we were talking before we went on the air here when I was like, hey, did you hear about, the Bryan Okada match? And Luke was like, no. And so we were talking about how we think it's going to end because it's like, you don't really want to beat Okada, we don't think. They can't beat Bryan. So does Moxley interfere, this, that, and whatnot? But now this stipulation makes me think, oh, shit, Okada's taking the pin. Okada's getting pinned. They wouldn't put this stipulation on there if Okada wasn't getting pinned. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
So, we'll see how it goes. But it's going to be an interesting one. And with that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching us live, you can help us out live on Twitch. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below. Or if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating bits. Twitch bits in the live chat. Make sure your comment, question, or concern does get read live on the air. Also, remember that you can subscribe to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out over on YouTube. You can help us out over there by hitting that, excuse me, you can help us out over there by hitting the subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing as a channel member. Hitting that join button. You can do so even at just the $1 tier is greatly, greatly appreciated. Whether that is here on YouTube, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, or patreon.com/PW Unlimited. And finally, remember, on YouTube, to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you could do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Games Store. Head over to the Epic Games Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use our code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Remember, if you're getting anything, like maybe you're getting into the new, what are they calling now? EAFC 25, buy that game. Use our code, PW Unlimited. Maybe you're getting Football Manager 25. Maybe you're getting X Defiant, or you're getting that new incredible skins in Fortnite. Use our code PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. But with that, we heard anything about them fans that may have been hurt in the main event? Have you seen anything posted yet? Apparently, when they did the break spot of the barricade, fans legit got like knocked over and pinned under the barricade.
I haven't seen anything posted about it. The only thing I saw was you tweet about that.
Well, because I was like, are they really hurt? Because I was like, those don't look like plants. I think they were real fans. I could be wrong. I haven't seen anybody say any. Hold on. Also, if anybody's seeing the news that's dropping right now of WWE filed yes trademark, we looked it up. I don't see it on the U.S. Patent Office website. Yes for. And I'll go look again real fast, because that news is dropping right now that WWE today filed a trademark for yes, and I don't see that anywhere. The only yes, when you type that in on the U.S. Patent Trademark Office website, is the one that Bryan Danielson did back on July 29th, but then he abandoned it 10 days ago on September 20th. But as we're looking here, I don't see a yes trademark by WWE. And I'll pull this up on the screen really fast just to show you guys what I'm talking about. just so you guys have context what I'm talking about, as we see here, right? And let me fix this really fast because you guys are not seeing it properly. All right, that's a little better. So this is a U.S. trademark patent website, the USPTO. You could just search trademarks, and there's one right here, trademarked by Bryan Danielson. So when you click it, yes, but it was abandoned on September 20th, 2024, after being filed on July 29th, 2024. Yet when we go back here to the main page, there is no yes by WWE. There's yes here by yes LLC, yes by James Edward Harris, and then yes by Synergies. Yes, Synergies. So when we then search World Wrestling Entertainment, and I go by owner, and then we sort by alphabetically, the only yes that they have is the Yes Movement. So I'm seeing a few sites posting WWE filed a new trademark for yes. Well, then where is it? Where is it? Because I don't see it. Oh, I'm not even showing you guys. Fuck, I'm a dummy. I don't see it anywhere, as you see. We're searched World Wrestling Entertainment under owner. There is no yes. I don't see it anywhere. The reports are that it was filed today. Well, it should be here if it was filed today. Yes. And when we look up yes, we go general. Yes. The only ones that come up, and we got to go by relevance. The only ones that come up that I'm seeing here, there's just one by Bryan Danielson. Again, we'll show you. That was abandoned on September 20th after being filed on July 29th. So, I don't know where people are seeing this one. The WWE apparently filed today. Unfortunately, and we can do one other search here. The U.S. Patent Trademark Office doesn't let you sort by date anymore. We used to be able to. And unless they do and I don't see it anywhere. Yeah. So that's another one just keep an eye out for, guys. I've seen two different sites now posting WWE filed for the yes trademark. Where? It ain't there at all. Only the Bryan one that's been abandoned. But enough of getting off topic. We got Monday Night Raw to talk about. We do have a couple of bit donations here I want to read really quickly. This one's from Muscleman85. He says, what are your thoughts on Rey Fenix getting time added to his deal? Also, who was in the background during the New Day segment? Not sure. I didn't pay attention to that. I know I should pay more attention because they do this often. They've been doing it a lot more recently. I didn't see. Maybe Nikki Cross? I don't know. And I know there was like a female apparently. Not sure. Did you notice someone in the background during the... Oh, wait. No, it's Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross, right? Now that I think about it.
I don't even know, honestly, because like I saw the person in the background,
right,
who was staring, but like
I think it was Karrion Kross. Now that I think about it,
I don't think it was Karrion Kross. I think it probably just could have been a worker, because I know during the Sami Zayn segment they had a woman like whose body was turned the other way, and I think that was just a worker.
Well, see, I got a message from someone who goes, "Was that Nikki Cross?" At that one where you said the female you thought maybe was a worker, and then later. During the, I want to say, Braun Breaker Gunther segment, in the far back, you see the New Day arguing. So, also,
I didn't see that one.
Yeah. New Day were arguing in the back on that one. Also, as far as Rey Fenix, all I'm going to say is WWE do the same thing. They would most likely do the same thing. Now, I know you argued with me the other day, well, they didn't do it for Bobby Lashley. True. But it's like, with Rey, we know as soon as that contract's up, boom, they're WWE. So I think that's kind of one factor into Tony's thinking here. But regardless, it's like WWE would have done it. So what are you have any thoughts on AEW potentially adding time to Phoenix's deal?
So I know a lot of people have been like really going at it on Tony Khan, like once it happened.
Yeah, I don't see you can't really. It's legally he can do it.
I mean, yeah, legally you can do it. I know a lot of people keep saying like, "Oh, it's bad for business." You're basically Vince McMahon holding people hostage. Like,
I mean, granted, think about this one. He let William Regal go early, and he knew Regal was going straight back to WWE. So,
but he did add terms to that deal saying you cannot show up on WWE television for a year.
You're not wrong there. That is true.
So, like, he did let him go early, but he added terms to that deal.
Right. I think, honestly, we just got to let it play out because no matter what, it's not like we know. We don't really know yet because their contracts are supposed to be up imminently now. Sometime in October is last I heard for Rey Fenix and Pentagon. So the big question is going to be, and I think depending on how much time is actually being added to Phoenix's deal, I think WWE actually has something even better here. What if, think about this, what if Pentagon comes in on his own and they push Pentagon to the moon, U.S. title shots, wins the U.S. title, feuds with Andrade and Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight, and he's just like one of the bigger stars on SmackDown. And then he needs some help one day, and little brother Rey Fenix shows up. The pop that they would get for that, for Phoenix just eventually, finally coming in to save Big Bro. I think that's almost better than just them coming in together. Granted, regardless, either way, it's going to be great. But think about the story they could tell there and the way they can do that if they think it through correctly. Push Phoenix or Pentagon huge. Biggest baby face, maybe not biggest baby face, but one of the bigger baby faces on the brand. And then he's getting double teamed, triple teamed. And there's his brother out of nowhere. I think it all depends on how long they have to wait for it, though. Any thoughts?
I mean, I feel like if he was on his own, part of me feels like they might have him start at NXT if he was just by himself.
Well, and I don't know how true this is because technically he hasn't legally been able to talk to WWE. Apparently, they've been like talking through a third party, and he insinuated he won't sign if they're going to NXT. They want main roster starts. So that's the whole thing. Apparently, Pentagon won't go if it's to NXT.
Sorry, there was a train.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. So,
but yeah, like,
but I get where you're coming from.
I just don't know.
Push him huge in NXT. And then, yeah, no, I was thinking that too. Make him like the NXT champion and just the biggest guy on NXT. Come in right away, win the belt like Ethan Page. But they don't want to go to NXT. He's like, I don't want to go to NXT. Is the word. That's the word.
I just don't know how they'd use him like by himself on main roster. Like, look how they use Dragon Lee by himself. They put him with the LWO.
Don't do that. Push him like Andrade, if not better. Andrade's having killer banger matches. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You got to push him differently and push him as a huge star.
Yeah, but some people are also kind of complaining how they're using Andrade, though.
I mean, I don't dislike it. He's out there having bangers. He's had 6 great matches with Carmelo Hayes. He had a really good match with LA Knight. His speed matches, granted they're short, are really good. He's a speed champion.
Yeah, but no one really cares about the speed belt, though.
Hey, I don't miss a speed. I don't miss an episode of Speed.
I know you don't, but like...
No, I know what you're saying. I know.
But other people are just like, well, that belt means nothing. That's mainly just like a Twitter championship.
No, you're not wrong. It was like when they did the freaking mixed match challenge on Facebook.
That and trying to think what else.
Well, I think of that. We got another bit donation here from Esports Gaming Rules this time. He says, RIP to the Hit King and WWE Hall of Famer Pete Rose. CMLB and even WWE did tributes to him. Now put him in the Baseball Hall of Fame. And God bless Cincinnati. Blue Collar City. And can't wait for Royal Rumble 2025 in Indy and see how a 2-hour Raw fare to the WWE Universe. I know women's wrestling fans are worried there are going to be no women's matches in... Okay, never mind. Now I'm going to read the rest of that because that's preposterous. No one has said that. I haven't seen anybody insinuate, we're not going to get women's matches. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. So, as far as the 2-hour Raw is going to go, it's going to be an easy show. Easy show to watch. Tonight's Raw, 3 hours, felt like fucking forever. I'm going to say that. Usually I come on here and go, 3 hours, easy show. Nice watch. No. We're sitting here, and I look down on the clock, and I go, it's 9:15. We still got 45 freaking minutes left in this. I was like, man, this show felt long. That was my one big takeaway from Raw tonight. This show felt long. I don't know if you felt the same way about it or if it scooted by for you. Because most weeks over the last 2 months or so, Raw's just flew by for me. Not tonight. Not tonight at all.
It did feel a little bit longer. I will say that.
And then we also do have another one here from Muscle Man. I'm going to read your comment here in a moment once we get talking about the Jey Uso stuff. So, Raw opens up. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, and his dog. Everybody's just bringing their dogs to wrestling shows now. Mercedes always got her dogs. Punk's got Larry backstage. Braun Strowman's got a dog. Everyone's just bringing their dogs to work.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Well, Cody said Pharaoh's done on the road. So, Cody ain't bringing his dog anymore.
I just don't know why people bring their pets on the road.
I don't know.
Unless it's one of those emotional support animals, but
you see freaking Punk had Larry in a stroller?
I did not see that.
Yeah, there's video on Twitter or social media and stuff of CM Punk and Triple H talking backstage and Larry's in a stroller. And then Bianca walks up and she's like, oh, how cute. And then Punk's like, yeah, he's a chick magnet. I waited till after I got married to get the dog that can get me the girls. But
that's funny.
Yeah. Anywho, Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett welcome us to Monday Night Raw in the ring. They don't do this every week, but they do it every couple of weeks, and it's cool. Like the second or third time they've done this with Joe and Wade. So it's we've had Joe Tessitore for about a month now. I think him and Wade Barrett, oh my God, are they perfect together? When we get the switch over and Michael Cole and Pat McAfee are back together on Raw, and Joe Tessitore is doing whatever Joe Tessitore is doing, Wade Barrett, please keep Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett together. That's my one ask of you, WWE. Honestly, I think Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett are a perfect pairing on commentary. I think they work so well together. But we got a video package of Jey Uso defeating Braun Breaker last week for the Intercontinental Championship, including fan footage from people in the arena and watching at home. We then see in the concourse area Jey Uso and his son, I think his name's Jace. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. As they make their way down through the crowd, they're yeeting along. Jey posed with the belt, which has been changed for the better. Have you seen the changes? I assume you realized the changes here. They've added blue to the gold belt. Because before, I always thought the design's okay, but I don't like all the gold. They need some pop of color. Well, now they've added that pop of color. They've added some blue to make it look more like the late 90s, earlier 2000s Intercontinental title. They added the blue accents like that. And I'm like, oh, now this title actually looks good to me. So, Jey gets in the ring, fireworks go off, and the crowd chants, you deserve it. Jey said that this was his first singles championship. He would fight every week for it against anybody and everybody. Jey loved his fans and thanked them for having his back all these years. He appreciated being able to enter with the title and his son by his side. His family made the road hard for him. Roman Reigns made it hard for him. He was just a twin for many years. They didn't know him, but now they know him. Jey tossed his shades aside and said his biggest fan was his mom. She told him to go out there and show them who you are. Go out there and get it. Quote, I got it. And mama, we did it. And he held up the belt. Out would then come Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker wasn't out here to spoil his fun or crash his party or anything. Braun has respect for Jey. He wanted to be the first person to tell Jey congratulations. He said Jey was the better man. I'm not going to spear you and I'm not going to attack you. I want to shake your hand. And they shook hands. It was actually really good. I thought this was great what they did with Braun Breaker here. Now, I don't know if this means it's a Braun Breaker babyface turn so that he can challenge Gunther, but Braun was about to leave, but Jey stopped him. Jey said that there were some dogs in Indiana, and people started barking. Braun smiled and left. So, interesting segment. Didn't really build nothing for Jey Uso, and that leads to Muscle Man's question here. He says, who do you think will take the belt off of Jey? And I think that's too hard of a question to ask right now because Jey's only had the belt for a week, and they didn't tease anything going forward. So, I appreciate the bit donations and the question, but I can't give you a straight answer because I have honestly no idea. You got any thoughts? I think it's too soon to be asking that question. When you're asking the question of who's going to take the title off of Jey, to me, it makes it feel like you don't like Jey Uso as the champion. And I could be wrong, but people immediately asking who's going to beat him for the belt. To me, A, and I hope this doesn't come off wrong, disrespectful, and B, you saying, I don't want the title on Jey Uso. I don't like Jey Uso being the champion. Fuck him.
I mean, maybe it's just like they're a good champion, but like maybe they mean like who's gonna be that next like heel to like beat him, because you know some people do like heel champions better than the babyface champion. So and sometimes you know like there's those babyface champions, they don't hold the belts long because I feel like that's the whole point of being that heel champion. Just take it off of like that hero guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's different for Cody though, in my opinion.
Right, but I mean, I don't know. I just think it's too early to ask that question. I mean, especially after tonight when they teased to nothing.
I think eventually Braun Breaker could beat him.
That is true. You think Braun takes the title back? You think Braun just gets
think
the
about
title?
it?
I mean, I could see it,
like
but
Braun goes on a whole like I don't know if revenge tour is the right word.
Well, you can't use that because they're doing that with Liv.
He goes on a whole like.
Not to
he goes on a whole like
go for it.
Tear. Sorry, he goes on a whole tear streak of like just beating everybody in front of him to where he goes, I want that IC title back. Jey says, like, all right, cool, you get another shot.
I can see it.
Jey's about to retain the belt, but then out comes like either Jacob Fatu to like screw him over. And then that can get Jey back into the bloodline stuff for War Games.
So you say they do this pretty quickly then? Because remember, we only got 2 months till Survivor Series. But you also got to think, what do we see later in the show? Basically, Braun Breaker telling Gunther, keep my title warm. I want your world belt, your world championship. So is he already moving on past the Intercontinental title?
I don't know. But we'll see where this goes. I feel like it's eventually probably just going to be another big heel taking it off Jey.
Probably.
I just don't know who that next heel would be.
Again, yeah, too early to say because they didn't tease anything. So
I could look at the roster, see who it could like potentially be.
Yeah, pull that up. As you pull that up, I'll read some more here from my Raw notes. So they reminded us that starting next week, Raw's going to 2 hours, and it will remain starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. They're not going to do like they did back in the day, 2 hours starting at 9, and nope, starting at 8. Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio were outside by their lowrider. Finn Balor then called Dom and said, hey, I'm having travel issues. I don't think I'm going to make it. He said he might not. I don't know. So this then leads us to our first match of the night, which is a first time ever match. Xavier Woods versus Rey Mysterio. Match itself goes 7.5 minutes. And my question to you, are they turning Xavier Woods heel?
I don't know. I just don't want to see the New Day like break up though. Like,
see, my whole thing that I've been saying, and now I could be wrong on this. Let me just finish this thought real fast. I thought they were going to split the New Day up in a way of we need to go our separate ways for a little bit and then we'll come back together. I don't want Woods to turn heel, attack Kofi, and then the New Day be done. You know what I mean?
Or what if Xavier turns heel, but like Kofi still tags with him just to like get him to snap out of it, and eventually Kofi turns heel. So you got heel.
I
New
mean,
Day.
we haven't seen that before. We haven't seen the New Day together as heels. That would be
we have.
When?
2015.
Well, when they first started?
Not like right when they first started. I know they were heels for a little bit once they first held the tag belts.
Were they? I don't remember this. I know they were. I know they were supposed to start as a heel group, and stuff changed. They started to get over, and they just said, "Screw it." When they were supposed to be preacher men, they were supposed to be heels. If you remember those early New Day promos with them with the choir and they were preaching, those were supposed to be heels. But I mean, I could be just not remembering.
You know, when they first had the tag belts and they beat Cesaro and Tyson Kidd for the belts, they were heels. People, they were booed by fans.
Okay, yeah. See that I don't fully. I remember them winning the belts. I just don't remember them getting booed. And
right when they were feuding with the Dudleys, they were even heels.
Okay, yeah, I'm blanking a little bit. Like I remember what you're telling me.
They were actually heels.
Like I remember the matches and all the stuff you're telling me. I'm just not fully remembering if they were heels or baby faces. Whoa, I just accidentally closed the wrong thing. Give me 1 second. But as we move forward as far as this match, did you find anybody on that roster you think can beat Jey?
I found two people who could do it. Chad Gable.
I mean, he should win this title eventually.
Or Big Bronson Reed.
There you go. That would not be a bad one at all. And the match would be great.
Oh yeah, I can see Chad Gable doing it. Now he's got the American Made group.
Right.
Have him be the IC champion. Try to like mentor the Creed brothers to win the tag belts.
Palpatine says they were heels against the Usos, were they not? Like they did Hell in a Cell and stuff? Because if that's the time you're talking about, no, the heels.
They were not heels.
The Usos were the heels.
The Usos.
No, the Usos were the heels in Hell in a Cell and stuff. Anyways, Xavier Woods versus Rey Mysterio. Fighting at about a minute and a half in, we go to a break. Rey hits a dive. When we come back, Rey had the better of Woods. He had a springboard moonsault, seated senton, and a springboard crossbody. Rey went for the 619, but Woods ducked. You can see Rey release the straps on his mask right before that 619 attempt too, which is interesting. They awkwardly traded some counters. Woods then ripped the mask off of Rey, so Rey just lets go of everything, grabs his face. Woods rolls him up 1, 2, 3, picks up the victory. So the big question here is, did Woods do it on purpose, or was he trying to grab Rey to slam him, grabbed the mask, and it was an accident? I think he did it on purpose. What do you think?
I feel like he might have done it by accident, but maybe he's like, maybe that's what I had to do.
Right. So I get what you're saying. It was an accident, but in the end, he's like, hey, whatever works, works. Crowd booed Woods. They booed him for it. And Rey seemed a little pissed off. So Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler approached Lyra Valkyria. Deville sarcastically said that it was too bad that she would be alone tonight without Natalya or Zelina Vega at ringside. Deville told her not to worry about Baszler because she didn't bite, quote, unless I tell her to. We then got another promo for what I believe is the returning Viking Raiders, which I believe are going to now be the War Raiders again. So they're teasing those guys coming back. Eric and Ivar. You think they also remain as Eric and Ivar? Or are we getting
probably?
Because what were
I can't remember what their original names were. It's been so long.
I'm trying to think in NXT because they had different names in NXT, right?
Yeah,
I can tell you right now. It was Ivar.
It was Rowan Hansen.
Yeah, so they just went off their real last names. Well, not real last names, but their indie last names.
Hansen and Rowe.
Yep. You were Slightly quicker than me on that one. Anyways, I mean, I think they just keep Eric and Ivar because that's what the main roster knows them as. And they're honestly not bad names now that we think about it. Like when they first got brought up and we're just like, those are shitty names. Wow, why'd they have to change them? But it's like, okay, Eric and Ivar, it works.
Well, Eric and Ivar, that's not really that big of a deal. The Viking Experience, people hated.
Oh, that name sucked.
So,
that name sucked.
So, yeah, like in 2015, the New Day, they were a heel faction. And I think the reason why they were heels, they turned them heels was because they felt like the fans were not really like impressed with their like gimmick. So fans kept chanting New Day sucks. So they felt like turning them heel would have been the best thing for them to like, get over.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because I think I do remember people kept chanting like New Day sucks because I guess they just weren't impressed with their gimmick. I think so.
Gotcha. But yeah. We're going to keep teasing the War Raiders, the Viking Raiders, whatever they're going to be called, and we'll see when they eventually do make their big return. And the other question is Sarah Logan still with them? Do they still have Valhalla? Is it going to be the three of them? That's the big question.
I still think so. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I mean, do they still keep her as Valhalla or?
I don't like the name. That's my thing. I don't like the name. I would say just bring her back as Sarah Logan.
It just has like her original like Sarah Logan attire, not the face paint and the antlers.
I mean, she can wear the same, not the face paint and the antlers, but she can still wear the same like attire. Just get rid of the head stuff. You don't need the headdress. Maybe just slightly for the entrance or what. I don't know. Just the Valhalla name needs to go and let her talk. Let her be a normal person because she was too much of a gimmick and a character that made it feel like the bad days of the early 90s, if you know what I mean, when they had too many just characters. Kofi Kingston approached Xavier Woods in the back. Kingston asked if he took Ray's mask off on purpose or not. Woods said, quote, "I respect Ray. He's the best." Woods thought that Kingston would be there to congratulate him. Kingston was excited that he won and beat a former world champion. Then this doesn't make any sense. Kingston then goes, "Hey, Jey Uso offered to defend his IC title against me next week." And I'm like, what? That's random as shit. For what reason? He goes, "But I told him I couldn't take the match. You should get the match instead." Woods was all pumped up and said that he knew he could beat Jey. They were excited and on the same page. Yeah, I don't. What? Why is Jey just going and saying, "Kofi, want a shot at my belt"? That makes no sense. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't.
Also, this is when I believe we saw Karrion Kross in the background. Then we had a 7-minute match. It was Zoe Stark versus Lyra Valkyria. Crowd didn't care for this match. I didn't really even care for this match. This match was meh. We'll talk about the crowd and crowd sounds in the post-match. So Valkyria fought back after an early break that was like a minute in maybe. At one point, she stopped a Z360 attempt. Stark cut her off then from a forearm and with a springboard, a drop kick. Valkyria reverses Z360 again into a German suplex. Baszler then distracted the referee. Valkyria then, for some reason, was distracted by Zoe Stark. No, Zoe. Let me rephrase this. I wrote this all weird. My notes are all messed up. Baszler distracted the referee. Sonya then distracts Lyra. She then knees Lyra. Zoe hits the Z360, pins her 1, 2, 3, picks up the win. So the match was a 7-minute nothing match. Any thoughts on the match before we talk about the post-match?
Wasn't a lot there, honestly.
No. So match ends, and Pure Fusion Collective attacks. They jump. So out comes Caden Carter and Katana Chance. And I swear to God, they piped in fake crowd noise. Am I wrong? Because we hear, cheering. And then we see like the first like 4 or 5 rows, and they're all just going like this, looking around. I don't see a single person cheering. Granted, that keg stand move I always think is super impressive. Like that, one of the best tag team moves in WWE. That keg stand that Katana Chance and Kaden Carter do. Great. They did it to both Sonya and Shayna. But I swear to God, they had piped in fake crowd noise for Zoe Stark, or for Katana Chance and Kaden Carter.
Yeah, I didn't really like this.
So, And then it got worse backstage. Kaden Carter tried to act all riled up and like, there was a video package hyping up the last Monster Standing match, which is our main event. Adam Pearce informed security that he wanted the match to stay in the ring. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Also, speaking of Adam Pearce, you see the video they posted with him on social media in the middle of the day about him talking about Raw being chaotic?
I did not see that.
This video was awesome. It's just a simple video of him walking into this room backstage, and he sits down and he's like, Raw's chaotic. There's so many people just going at it, and who is going to take control? Should be me, but it ain't going to be me, because this is all my fault anyways, because I drafted these people to Raw to make Raw chaotic and interesting. What are you going to do? Go watch SmackDown? No, you're going to watch all the chaos here on Raw. I'm like, oh, this is a great little hype video for Monday Night Raw. Like, it was, I'm not doing it any justice. Adam Pearce was perfect here, talking about how I created this roster, I drafted it, and I wanted just crazy warriors who are going to beat the crap out of each other. His words, basically. Then, we see CM Punk.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. I highly recommend go back and watching it. I retweeted it, so it's on our PWU Unlimited Twitter. But so we then see CM Punk walking up. Him and Drew are next. We go to the back. This was so dumb. Katana Chance is there, and she's all like a little spitfire, I guess you should say. She's like a Rottweiler, all hyped up. She's like, Jackie Redmond's asking, you know, you guys are back. What are you gonna do with the Pure Fusion Collective? And they're like, we're gonna get our revenge, and we're gonna take out the Pure Fusion Collective. But the Pure Fusion Collective ain't it, because we're gonna come after our tag titles. And she's just like, just going off, and she's like, it's like she just drank 3 Red Bulls in a 5-hour energy, and then Isla Dawn and Alba Fire walk up, and they're like, oh, you're cute, but there's no way you're gonna win the tag titles. We're getting the tag titles back. And then Chance and Carter got all mad and like upset, and they're like, ah, and they're like holding Katana Chance back, and she's screaming, we're gonna get the belts. And it's like, no, neither of you are going for the belts. Neither of you teams. It's fucking Damage Control. Yeah, this is weird. And you could tell Katana Chance is trying to all keep it in and not like break and laugh and lose her cool. Not lose her cool might not be the right way, but you could tell like she's like got this half-ass smirk on her face, like she's trying to do this bit that they want her to do, but she's trying to like not break and start laughing and just lose it. Because she's not an actress. You know, it was good. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre inside this Hell in a Cell. This is great. I thought this was awesome. Then I had someone on Twitter go, hey, it's just the red cell, but they painted it gray. You could see some of the red. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of troll comment is that? Anyways, we lower the cell down. Adam Pearce is in there with a bunch of security guards. I think it's like 8 or 9. Pearce said, no physicality tonight. But he wanted to give each man one final chance to speak before their match this weekend to finally end it all. Punk entered first wearing white T-shirt, white pants. They're really teasing this match is going to be brutal. And Punk keeps giving us all the indications of he's going to bleed and bleed a lot. I'm just putting that out there. McIntyre wore an all black tuxedo, which is very interesting. So it's like the light versus the dark, good versus evil. Undertaker versus
Heaven versus hell.
Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 26. Anyways, McIntyre said he wore the tuxedo out of respect. Go for it.
It almost reminded me of that 2012 Hell in a Cell poster with CM Punk as the devil.
Oh, yeah. Anywho, he said he wore the tuxedo out of respect, not for Punk, for his wife. After Sunday, she would have to bathe and feed Punk. She would probably even leave him. McIntyre said he also wore a tuxedo that would be for his celebration when Punk was gone and would never be coming back. Punk has been back for less than a year and has been injured for 4 months. He'd now be gone forever, and it would be thanks to Drew McIntyre. Even after all the evidence he has been presenting to the fans, they still chant for this guy, CM Punk. He said Roxanne Perez worshipped you, but realized what kind of person he was after spending time with him. Eventually, the fans would have to look in the mirror and realize who the idiots really were. Punk hated McIntyre, and McIntyre hated Punk. Punk taught McIntyre how to hate. McIntyre didn't have time to hate in his life, though. Hate is a powerful weapon, and if you use it correctly, it was dangerous if it stayed for a long term. He was lucky because of bad blood, the hate would die with Punk. Punk then got the mic. Punk said the people have called him a lot of things throughout his career. Among them, voice of the voiceless, Second City Saint, and so forth. Tonight, he is voiceless because he had nothing to say to a piece of garbage like Drew McIntyre. And then for someone that said he had nothing to say, went on for another 2 or 3 minutes. So I guess he did have something to say. He said, except that he was fulfilled. He was filled with so much rage and anger when he looks at it, Drew McIntyre. He couldn't go home. He's been living in a hotel for 4 weeks because he can't subject his wife to the man that Drew has made him be, that Drew has turned him into. He then called Drew McIntyre a son of a bitch who turned him into the fictitious boogeyman that his harshest critics have accused him of being for years. That was exactly the kind of man he needs to be, though, this Saturday, when he sends Drew McIntyre back home to Scotland in a box. Punk wanted him to remember that he prayed for this. When McIntyre was on his hands and knees begging, he would look up and Punk would wipe his blood in his eyes so he could see him. McIntyre wouldn't be praying to God or the devil. Quote, you'll be praying to CM Punk. Punk finished it by saying, quote, I will see you in hell. Strong segment. Very strong segment to build up to the Hell in a Cell match this weekend that I hope is the main event and not the Roman Cody tag match. What did you think of this?
Yeah, I'm really hoping this is the main event as well. I mean, this is the bigger story in my opinion.
Yes.
But if they main event the Roman and Cody tag match, people are going to be pissed.
Well, because the whole reason of main eventing Cody and Roman is because it's like Rock and Cena from Survivor Series back in the 2011. And they're in Atlanta, which both men have strong ties to Atlanta. Cody's from Atlanta. Roman played college football in Atlanta. So it's like, I get all that. But the wrestling fans don't care about you being I don't even think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't even think people from Atlanta care that they have ties to Atlanta. I think most people want this main evented by the Hell in a Cell match.
I mean, Atlanta will care about Cody. I don't think they'll care about Roman.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're right. We have a couple more. Go for it.
I could totally see the tag match just being the start, like the opening show.
It should open the show and you close it with the Hell in a Cell. Especially if this Hell in a Cell match is going to be as brutal as they keep teasing it to be. Because they're teasing this to be like a holy hell. We're going to beat the shit out of each other. These two men are going to be fucking destroyed after this kind of match. Now, I don't know if that's what we actually get, but that's what they're teasing. So if that's what they're teasing and that's what we might get, it's got to be the main event. It's got to be.
Yeah, and also, I can also see why WWE might try to like have the tag match be the main event because also like Roman's first match since Mania.
Right. Here's my question.
So I think
go for it. Finish your thought.
So I can see why some people might think like, oh, that should probably be the main event because Roman's first match since Mania. But at the same time, Drew and Punk, that's the bigger story. This is like the final match in this story.
So here's my question to you. Regardless of how the match goes, do you think there's going to be that one side of social media that's going to try to compare it to the Swerve Hangman cage match? The Hell in a Cell match,
maybe.
That is. Because everyone's
all I gotta say with this.
Go for it.
All I gotta say with the Cell match, hopefully Punk doesn't get injured, because I know he's been injury prone for the past few years.
Right.
So hopefully they keep him safe to where he doesn't do too much where he gets injured.
Because I can see people going on Twitter after the Cell match being, oh, that match was too tame, or oh, the Hangman Swerve match was better. They did so much more, and like WWE ain't gonna let them fucking use unprotected chair shots. WWE's not gonna let them use a needle. I mean, hell, yes, it's probably gonna be more tame than the cage match from All Out, but we gotta see how it plays out story wise and everything. I think this match is gonna be fantastic. We go to the back, and Kathy Kelly's interviewing Braun Strowman. She asked if he was feeling trepidatious about the upcoming match. He said that he didn't know what trepidatious meant. And then I kind of was like, yeah, I only heard the word a couple times. I don't really know what it means either, so I'm on your level, Braun. Anyways, he's like, yeah, I'm a little nervous. He would then show the world that he was a monster of all monsters when he wins tonight. I mean, yeah, you won, but you needed help from Seth Rollins. Anyways, Miz comes up. This actually gets pretty funny. Miz approaches and tries to speak with Strowman, and all of a sudden they're interrupted by the returning R-Truth. R-Truth shows up, and Strowman was surprised to see him. Miz was surprised to see him. And Strowman was like, wow, I was surprised to see you after getting 5 tsunamis by Bronson Reed. And Truth's like, I don't really remember that. And then Strowman's like, I got to leave. I got to go. And Miz goes, Truth, what are you doing here? And Truth literally goes, I work here. And Miz goes, well, why didn't you tell me you were coming? He goes, I don't know. And he's like, but I got us a tag match. I saw that you've been had Karrion Kross messing with you the last couple of weeks, and I can't stand for that. So I got us a tag match against AOP. I'm like, oh, no, he did not. AOP. Miz is like, wait, what? You mean AOP? Authors of Pain? He goes, yeah, whoever. That's how you say it? Okay, AOP. I'm like, oh, Lord fucking Truth, AOP. But it's the way when he was just like, Miz is like, Truth, what are you doing here? And he just goes, I work here. Just like that, too. I work here. I lost it. His delivery there was great. What did you think of this segment?
Oh, yeah, this was funny. No. And it definitely leads to the end.
Yes.
Or like later on.
Yes. I love heel Miz. I'm just going to say that. But I just, the way, and getting back to Truth really fast, when he was just like, I work here. But then he kept that same like delivery when Miz is like, well, why didn't you tell me you were coming? He's like, I don't know. Like he just said it the same way. It was perfect. I'm really shocked that Truth hasn't like gone into acting. Even for like some smaller budget movies or something. Maybe, I know he was in The Wrestler. I know he was in that movie. He was a backstage, like an extra, because they filmed stuff in Ring of Honor, and I guess he worked with Ring of Honor at the time. So he was in The Wrestler, but he had no lines and really didn't do anything. That's the only movie I think I've ever seen Truth in. Could be wrong. He may have done other things, but I don't know. The only movie I remember seeing him in was The Wrestler, which is a great movie. Let's go. Kathy Kelly interviewed Sami Zayn backstage. He wasn't necessarily bothered by Gunther's many rejections, but bothered by the disrespect. He said, did you think that he would be used to that by now, and admitted that it did bother him? It hit a sore spot, hearing Gunther say that I wasn't on his level. He said, but I didn't lose sleep over it. So, it wasn't good to hear. He knew that he was good enough to become the world champion. Gunther could keep running away and ducking his challenges, but eventually Zayn is going to get it because he's not going away and not going away so easily. Zayn says he will not stop until he gets a shot at the belt. This then leads to our next matchup, 6-man tag team match. It was Dominic Mysterio, Carlito, and JD McDonough, the Judgment Day, against Dragon Lee, Walking Wild, and Cruz del Toro of the LWO. And I'm just going to say, they did a new version of the Joaquin Wilde launch spot off the ropes. And this one it scared me for a second. Because this version that they did, which was the front flip over the ropes, there's so much room for error there. And then Dragon Lee and Cruz del Toro do a dive through the top and middle rope. And Cruz del Toro snags the top rope a little bit. And I'm like, oh. But he was fine. So, early on, the babyfaces hit some flashy offense. And we go to break. 60 to 90 seconds in. Come back, and Wilde went to the top, but Morgan distracted the referee, so he just kind of stopped. And I was like, oh, okay. Balor, I got ahead of myself. They started doing a bunch of moves like springboards and dives and this and that. And then eventually they're fighting all in the ring. Like everyone's kind of going at it. And Finn Balor shows up, knocks Joaquin Wilde off the top rope. JD McDonough hits him with the devil inside, his little backdrop suplex, and pins him to pick up the victory. So the Judgment Day get the win here tonight, thanks to Finn Balor, who they said wasn't there. What did you think of the match? It was so nothing. I got like no notes.
It was nothing. It really was. A lot of these matches tonight, except for the main event, was kind of nothing.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I felt like this show just dragged on. For it being a go home show and building up a couple really good matches for next week, it's just like, what are we doing here? Triple H, you've had some really good booking of late, but this show, it just felt like, and I'm not going to say it felt like a Vince last minute book show, but it just felt like you made matches and then just told the guys, go do whatever. You all got 7 minutes. Because it's like every match, I'm looking back here at my notes. It's like just about every match went about right around 7 minutes. Let me see. 7 minutes for the Kofi or the Woods match. 7 minutes for the Zoe Stark match. 7 minutes for this match. Let's see the other matches. Gable and Kofi went about 9.5. So that got a little more time. And then AOP, Awesome Truth went 3 minutes. Then the main event went 19 minutes. So yeah, early on, these matches was like 7 minutes of nothing because they went. Really, the reason they felt like nothing, because they're a 7-minute match. Excuse me. And we're getting 3 to almost 4 minutes of commercial break in all of them. So that's why I think for the most part, they felt like nothing. So we come back from the break after this match, and the Judgment Day are in the ring. Balor said that Damian Priest threatened to rip out his heart. But you can't rip out something I don't have. Balor would prove that Priest was the one who needed them and needed him. Judgment Day never needed Priest. Morgan said that she would prove that she was a home-wrecking, man-stealing, heart-breaking, title-taking, greatest woman's champ of all time. So basically she said, I'm going to prove to you that I'm a hussy. This is when Rhea Ripley would then interrupt. She stayed up on the stage and brought out the shark cage for dramatic effect. She said that we know Dom is claustrophobic. Here's my question. The only people I've ever known to be claustrophobic are claustrophobic in small spaces that are enclosed. You know anybody that's claustrophobic inside of a cage that's all open? Like, I don't understand. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not trying to be rude to claustrophobia. I always thought claustrophobia was like when you're in a small area that you can't see anything, you don't know what's going on around, you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm sure there's different types of claustrophobia, though.
And I get it. You're in a small area that you can't get out of, but it's like you can still see everything.
You can still see everything, but you still can't like get out of an area. You're trapped there.
True. But I do appreciate that this is a different way to say why Dom would be scared to be in the shark cage. It's not the normal Dom's afraid of heights, because it's always so-and-so's afraid of heights. So this was a different way to do it. Anyways, she said when he shits himself in the cage, he can use his own face to wipe himself, because, they're selling that Dominic Mysterio toilet paper. Make Dirty Dom even dirtier with your own ass.
Dominic Mysterio toilet paper. Sleeper.
Right.
Available at WWE Shop.
She said that he would have the best seat in the house to watch his girlfriend realize that she was not as good as Rhea. Crowd then cheered. They started to stir as all of a sudden Damian Priest would appear in the ring behind the Judgment Day. He tossed McDonough and Carlito aside before going after Finn. Ripley snuck up behind Morgan and Dom and chucked them into the barricade. Ripley tossed Dom into the cage. Morgan was about to jump Ripley from behind. She saw it coming, and Morgan ran away. Ripley was about to lock Dom in the cage when Morgan came back from behind again and knocked down Rhea. The numbers game then caught up to Priest as well, and Finn knocked him down in the ring with a sling blade. Judgment Day then held back Priest as Balor hit him with a dropkick and 3 straight coup de grace. Balor then stood tall, which leads me to believe Finn's getting pinned to the pay-per-view. What'd you think?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Finn could win, though.
We'll save that. We'll talk about that more in our predictions.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. It's kind of tough right now.
I will say, there are matches on this pay-per-view that are harder to predict than WWE has been on recent premium live events. So moving forward, Sheamus made a challenge to the man called Butch. Well, formerly called Butch. He called him Butch, and he even called him the loser weight. Sheamus knew that Dunn was dangerous, so if you want to play rough, let's play rough. Final banger next week in a match that I like to call the Donnybrook match, an old-fashioned fight. Bring whatever weapons you got, whatever gimmicks you got, and let's duel it out next week. Sheamus then shows that he's got a shillelagh. We predicted this one. I think you said it last week, Donnybrook.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think wins, Sheamus or Pete Dunne? I almost said Butch.
Probably Sheamus.
That's what I was thinking, because Pete's got the better of him too many times. WWE then paid tribute to Pete Rose, who passed away today at the age of 83, WWE Hall of Famer. Also, before we get going, we got a couple more bit donations here. Esports Gaming Rules says, love the new look of the Intercontinental Championship with the blue. Maybe if we get the Women's IC Championship, make it retro for WWE Women's Championship style. No, if we get a Women's IC belt, it's going to look the same as this belt, but be on a white strap.
With the white strap.
Yep.
Same with if we get a Women's United States title belt as well.
Yeah. And then he also says,
I think eventually.
Go for it.
I think eventually we're going to get a women's mid-card belt on the main roster.
It's been talked about for a little while, but I don't know when.
I mean, we already got the women's North American title in NXT.
Well, so the rumor was that was the test to see how a second woman's belt gets over. And I mean, granted, it's gotten over to an extent. I think the only issue with it is, no offense to Kalani Jordan, it's that it's on Kalani Jordan, and they book her in these overbooked gymnastic act matches that the fans really don't get behind. So I don't think that it's people don't like the belt or like the belt on her. It's the matches she's having are just too overbooked, like too over scripted, like gymnastic acts. He also says, Monet says no 3-hour Raws mean no women's matches for. So Mercedes said that? Send me a link to this because I need to read this now because that's bullshit. Thank you for the bit donations. But if you have a link, send it to me on wherever. You can email me, timmybuddy@gmail.com, PW Unlimited on Twitch, TimmyBuddy on, or PW Unlimited on Twitter, TimmyBuddy on Twitter. Because did Mercedes actually, so you say Monet says no 3-hour Raws means no women's matches for the WWE Women's Division. Did Mercedes really say that? Hold on, let me Google that. Mercedes Monet 3-hour Raw. I guess this is here. Yeah, Mercedes Monet fears Raw's hour cut could hurt the women's roster. What did this woman fucking say now? She said, quote, so this is from her interview last week on The Breakfast Club. says, speaking on The Breakfast Club, former WWE star and current AEW TBS champion Mercedes Moné explained why she thinks the change will lead to the roster losing opportunities, stating, quote, I think that sucks for the wrestlers. If you lose a whole hour, that's a whole opportunity of performing in front of a live audience and in front of millions watching at home. But I think just the move to Netflix is so huge for them, and they're going to gain so much more opportunities in so many different other ways. I think it's great for performers to get more opportunities, especially for women. We're only given 5 to 8 minutes, so we need that extra hour. We need that time to tell a story. So what is she saying here? I don't get this. She's saying women only get 5 to 8 minutes. Well, a lot of people only get 5. I mean, look at the matches tonight. There was like 3 7-minute matches, and not just women's matches. And then it's like SmackDown's only 2 hours, and we got multiple women's matches on last week's 2-hour SmackDown. We had Naomi and Bayley, Michin, and Piper Niven. But what the hell are you talking about? I guess it's just her way to complain about WWE.
Probably.
Speaking of the women's division, Io Sky and Kairi Sane cut a promo. I liked this. They talked about Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill and stated that they want the tag titles. Sky said the Damage Control hasn't been the same since losing the titles, and they need to have them back. Sky was in Belair's head after beating her. She would live rent-free there until they won the tag titles. I like this. They both cut promos in English, but you can tell that they let them speak, that they let them, try. It wasn't like we're gonna hold your hand and we're kind of gonna let you say things. No, Kairi spoke a lot, and so I like this. This was really well done. Any thoughts?
I thought that was pretty well too.
Yeah. Then we had a 9.5-minute match. It was Chad Gable versus Kofi Kingston. And well, you would guess it, 90 seconds in, we went to a break. Coming back from the break, Gable was bleeding from the forehead a little bit. Not sure what happened. They never told us. But at one point, Gable hit a German suplex on the outside of the ring and then a diving headbutt after. Gable cut off Kingston's comeback with a T-bone suplex. They traded cradles until Gable hit a cliffhanger DDT for a 2. Gable applied an ankle lock, but Kingston quickly countered into a cradle for a 2. Gable blocked the Trouble in Paradise and applied an ankle lock, but Kingston countered yet again. Kingston hit an SOS, but Gable got a rope break at a 2. Gable then escaped, and Kingston wiped out Gable and the Creeds with a splash off the steps. Woods would then appear and attack Julius Creed. Ivy Nile distracted the referee. I think this is like the third match with ref distractions. But it was Woods that actually took advantage, tripped Gable here with the distraction of the referee. It was a bad idea, though, because Kingston was about to hit the Trouble in Paradise, and he couldn't hit the Trouble in Paradise now. And he tripped up himself because of this. Gable then grabbed him, hit him with the Chaos Theory suplex, and pinned him to pick up the victory. So Woods, trying to help, in turn, screwed Kofi. Woods then tried to plead his case, and Kofi was pissed off. We later see them arguing in the background when there was the Braun Breaker Gunther segment. So what do you think of the match and Woods screwing up?
Honestly, I mean, I don't really know. Like this segment, I was like, I actually don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match.
It was a good match, but the part of Woods screwing up, I'm like, I don't know how to view that.
Like you said, I think it's going to lead to some sort of a split or break of the New Day for a little bit. Like we're slow burning it, I will say.
Maybe they do like the Josh Briggs and
Brooks Jensen thing. Yeah, maybe.
Brooks Jensen thing minus the feud.
Right.
They just be like, hey, maybe us being a tag team right now isn't working out. Mm-hmm. Let's just go our separate ways, and maybe one day we'll reunite together.
Exactly. Moving forward, they showed some WWE wrestlers at different. Go for it.
What if the New Day split and they had Kofi go back to his SOS gimmick?
SOS, I hear them jumping. Accent and all.
What if they had Triple H
jumping
backstage segment? They're like, "Hey Kofi, remember like
what happened to the accent?
Like 15 years ago, I asked you what happened to the accent.
Right.
Whatever happened to it, man?"
I mean, that would be funny.
And he like brings it back as like a joke.
Yeah. But that is the good question. Though. That is a good question, though. If they do split up the New Day, who gets the New Day music?
I don't think either of them do.
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
I don't think either of them do. I think they just get their own new music. Maybe Kofi gets his SOS theme song back.
Yeah, I remember Kofi's theme. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what Woods' theme was before the New Day.
I think Woods just used the Funk Is on a Roll theme song.
Really?
Yeah, because remember when they first brought him up to the main roster?
Yeah, I know he used it at one point, but I didn't think that was his theme right before the New Day. Maybe. Huh.
No, because when he went up to the main roster, he was teaming with R-Truth, and they were against Brodus Clay and Tensai.
Right, I remember that.
Had, like the Funk Is on a Roll music for a little bit.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, they just give Woods new music.
Then when they had King Woods, they had Megaran sing his new theme.
Oh, I forgot about that one. There you go. Yeah. Megaran's a great guy.
But that was more of a. He makes some. He made his own New Day song.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's got a lot of great music, and yeah, he's touring right now. He was just in San Francisco recently.
Maybe he gets like a heel theme by like Megaran or something.
That'd be cool. I think Megaran recently just dropped an album too, a new one. Not too long ago. I don't follow like rap or anything, but I do follow Megaran because I think he's a cool dude. So, anyways, they showed a few wrestlers at football games over the weekend. Seth Rollins was at the Ravens game. McIntyre and Morgan were at the Colts game. And Sheamus was at the Notre Dame game. Jackie Redmond then interviewed Bronson Reed. She asked if Seth Rollins' eventual return would be a distraction for him tonight. And I'm like, wait, what? Why are you asking this? It's not like we got a tease. And if we did I miss something? I don't think so. So they kind of basically told us Seth's coming back at the end of the show, which I didn't like. It was like, oh, you kind of spoiled it. Reed said, no, it wouldn't distract me. He wanted Seth Rollins to return. He said, I took months off of his career, and next time I'm going to take years off of his life. Reed would expose Strowman as the man that he is, because Reed was the only monster that will be left standing. We then got a new Wyatt 6 video. It said, quote, we see your intent. Anger festering into rage. Do not go down this path. It ends in your demise. You know better. Do not force our hand. Heed our admonishment. I always fuck this word up. Admonition? ADMONITION. How do you say that word? My dyslexia is kicking in.
What's it called? Or spell it out for me.
ADMONITION. I just copied this right off their video on the screen. They didn't. Yeah. My dyslexia is kicking in.
Admonition.
Do you got a definition?
An act or action of admonishing, authoritative counsel or warning.
Okay.
Do you want like a definition, or do you want a sentence? Actually,
I got it now. Once you said warning at the end, it makes sense because they're warning somebody to not tempt them. But who is the question?
The old judge's admonition to the jury on this point was particularly weighty.
Gotcha. Well, because who are they targeting now? Because it says, you know better, do not force our hand. Heed our admonition, which, as you read there with the definition, is a warning. Okay. But who are they warning is the question. I have no clue. Like,
I don't know.
They got to be past Chad Gable, right? It's not Gable anymore.
Nah, they gotta be past Chad.
So that's the thing. It's like, who? Who?
Oh, did you scan the QR code? Or did they ever say what the QR code was?
I'm going to be honest with you. I missed that. I didn't see the QR code. I was too busy writing all this. I was too distracted writing this stuff down in my notes. I missed the QR code. I'm going to be honest.
There was a QR code at the end.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I missed that.
I'm trying to look it up. Okay, it says you refuse salvation. Do not force our hand. The reckoning is here.
So just more of what it said in the video. Gotcha.
That was the poster that said.
Okay, got it. So we got some unfortunate news next up. WWE did announce that Ilya Dragunov has suffered a suspected ACL tear in a match over the weekend against Gunther and is most likely going to be out of action for 6 to 9 months, which puts him gone anywhere from next March to next June, July. That sucks. That really sucks for old Ilya Dragunov.
Oh yeah, I think there was also like Morse code as well in that QR code.
Gotcha.
And it's spelled it out to, have you figured it out yet?
Huh. I haven't, because I don't know who this new person they're warning. So next up, Gunther enters the ring. He said he loves every aspect of being the world champion, being the top guy, the money, the luxuries, the amenities that he's provided. But there was one thing that he hated about his life right now. Insults. The insult of having to deal with Sami Zayn every single week. He said he could not ask for any more and anyone more annoying than Sami Zayn. Zayn would then, interrupt. Zayn said, if he was so annoying, there's only one way to stop this. Give me a shot at the world title. Zayn wanted Gunther to tell the world why you don't want to face me, why you don't want to defend your title against me. Gunther said, I have. You're not on my level. Zayn asked, why? When I'm the one that beat you at WrestleMania. Gunther beat former champions and Hall of Famers, but it was Sami who was able to pin him. Gunther thought that he was much better than Zayn, yet that result proves otherwise, and it's driven him crazy. Gunther was scared that it can happen again. The crowd called Gunther a coward. Gunther admitted, I am afraid. I wasn't afraid of Zayn. He was afraid of his reputation. Losing to the better man would have been no problem. But losing to a Sami Zayn, that was the biggest embarrassment of my career. Gunther was so confident that he would win at WrestleMania that he flew his entire family all the way here to the United States. He had to look his father in the eyes backstage after flying from Vienna to Philadelphia and tell him why he lost to a bum like Sami Zayn. Gunther didn't expect him to understand because your family, they're used to seeing you fail. Gunther's family expects everything from him. Greatness. He was the golden goose of the family. He was special and something Zayn would never be. The world heavyweight champion. Zayn said that he did lose a lot in front of his family, but they kept pulling for him, and that helped him move forward. Gunther crumbled after his loss. Gunther never even asked for a rematch. He just disappeared and couldn't show his face for months. And I said, months? When did Gunther disappear for months?
I think,
I think he was off TV for like a week or two, maybe after Mania, and then they got right into the King of the Ring stuff, right?
Yeah, I think he, I don't remember him disappearing for months.
No.
Maybe when like the 2.0 stuff was happening, they were trying to get him to move to the States.
Well, no. Sami said, I beat you for the title at WrestleMania, and then you disappeared because you lost. That's what he's talking about.
He never disappeared for months, 2 weeks.
I'm looking up his cage match right now. Let's go back to WrestleMania. Let's see. WrestleMania. Okay, so he lost to Sami. Hold on. Let me pull up a calendar. So he lost to Sami at WrestleMania, right? That was April 6th. Now, if we're not talking about live event matches, because, yeah, we're not talking about live event matches. 1, 2. He missed 3 Raws, and then he comes back and he defeats Xavier Woods. He was gone for 3 weeks, like I said, 2-3 weeks. I mean, technically, he didn't miss more than a week because he was back on the road. Like, they gave him a week off, and then he was back on the road for the UK tour. But, yeah, no. He missed 3 weeks. That was it. So when Sammy said this, I was like, what? I don't remember Gunther being gone for months. He missed a couple weeks. Anyways, he disappeared for months, wouldn't show his face, all because his dad made him feel like a loser. Now, he was showing his dad that he was a coward as well. Gunther then leveled Zayn with a hard clothesline. Zayn fought back, but Gunther caught him in the sleeper hold that then led to a powerbomb. Sleeper hold into a powerbomb? That was awesome. Gunther then said, fine, you want to fight? You want to challenge me? You've got it. Zayn sat up, smiled, and said, I got you. The next week, not this weekend at the pay-per-view, but next week on Raw, the world title will be on the line. Sami Zayn challenging Gunther. They do this a lot. When he was the IC champion, they did this a lot too. Gunther's title defenses are not on the pay-per-view. They're on the television show. I thought this segment was great. Gunther was awesome with his promo. All of this, fantastic. What'd you think?
Oh, yeah, this was pretty good. Like, I liked it.
Yeah. Esports Gaming Rules with another bit donation says, quote, Monet is afraid of what's going on in WWE. Maybe she thinks Vince is still running WWE, but she dealing Tony Vince Khan. Well, I mean, Rhonda thinks that Vince is still in charge. Well, not merely in charge, but she thinks Vince still has a lot of say through Bruce Pritchard, which that's not true.
Vince has no say whatsoever now.
Nothing. But no, Rhonda said in an interview, she's like, oh, no, Vince sends things in through Bruce, and then Bruce does what to get Vince's ideas through or something like that. I don't know. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about.
Did you see one of the ideas that Vince had in the past, but he decided not to do it?
Which one? There's been a lot.
During that documentary.
Well, which one? There's a lot.
There was one that mentioned the documentary about Stephanie where he said that
I know exactly what you're getting at.
I know you probably know it.
Okay, so Stephanie in 2006-7, correct me, is pregnant with her first child. Her and Triple H's first child. And Vince's first.
I wonder how old they're.
How old?
I wonder how old their kids are by now.
She just left for college. So she's 17, 18. Triple H had to leave the last pay-per-view early, Bash in Berlin, because he had to take his daughter to college. So that's why Cody read all the executive stats at the press conference, because Triple H wasn't there. Triple H left early to get back to the United States to take his daughter to college. Anyways. So, Vince is always thinking of everything as, how can we make this work-related? How can we turn this into an angle? How can we make money off of this? Triple H said in the documentary that when him and Stephanie were planning their wedding, Vince called Stephanie selfish for not allowing Vince to have her real wedding on pay-per-view. So there's one thing. But the one you're getting at. So in the documentary, and this is a well-known story, but in the documentary, they asked Stephanie, anything your dad ever asked you to do? You said no. And her head falls. She laughs and says, well, yeah. And they're like, well, what is it? And she goes, I don't want to say. Then they cut to Vince, and Vince goes, well, when Stephanie was pregnant with their first child, I suggested maybe I was the father. She said no, so I said, how about Shane? What? Now, granted, I'm saying that like I've never heard that before. We've always known that story. That story's been around for years. That Vince pitched him being the father of Stephanie's child. And then when she said no, he said, how about doing Shane? How about Shane?
So basically, he's suggesting I impregnated
my own daughter.
I impregnated Stephanie.
Yes, sir. Yeah. That's
like how they do that. They do a paternity test on live television. They're like, And they're like, Vince McMahon, you are the father.
I don't know, but the story had always been that Vince pitched it and Stephanie couldn't say no faster. Because Vince is always thinking, how can I turn real world, real life situations into work, angles, storylines? He's just always thinking like that, which I get it. How can I make something real into work related? I mean, I've done it before. How can I do real life things with my family and spin it so that way it is now related to this YouTube channel and I can use it as a tax write-off? Trust me, I've done it. Anyways, moving forward, we had a tag team match here. It was AOP against the Awesome Truth. Not much to this. A 3-minute match. They're all going at it. Just normal tag match here until, well, Truth gets screwed. Miz turns on Truth. Truth made the hot tag at one point to Miz, but Miz immediately turned around and booted him. Crowd booed, and Miz walked away. Cross was delighted to see this. AOP then hit Truth with the What a Rush and pinned him to pick up the victory. I think heel Miz is the best Miz, so give me heel Miz.
All right, Miz is much better as a heel. I mean, I know when he was a babyface back in 2013, he was one of my favorite wrestlers.
I mean, I've always liked the Miz. I'm not saying I don't like babyface Miz, but I think heel Miz is the best Miz.
Oh, yeah. Like, heel Miz, Intercontinental Champion 2018 when he had the Miz Taraj.
Yep. Ooh. I don't think they do it, but what if Miz is the one to take the title off of Jey Uso?
Miz breaks the IC title record.
Well, is he going to break it, or is he going to... I think he's going to tie Jericho.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he might break it.
I'll tell you right now.
I think right now he's tied with Jericho, but
see, I can't
they
remember.
didn't want him to like break it quite yet.
Well, they just haven't had an opportunity to put the IC title on him. That's the whole thing. Let's see.
I think they just wanted to put it on other people.
Right now, he has held the Intercontinental Championship 8 times. I want to say Jericho has 9. I'm pulling up the record. Where the hell is it? List of Intercontinental Champions. What the heck? Wikipedia. I need the list. The list of champions. Usually it's right here on the front page of the... Oh, here it is. Got it. Okay. It is... The record is... Number of reigns. Yeah, Jericho has 9, so he would tie Jericho. He needs 10 to beat Jericho. Miz is at 8, Jericho is 9. So moving forward. Kathy Kelly interviewed Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. They were interrupted by Braun Breaker. Braun basically wanted to see Gunther for himself and the title on his shoulder. Gunther called him a badass. And then Braun said, yeah, you'll find out soon with how bad of an ass I am. Also, this is when I said Woods and Kofi were fighting in the back. Arguing. Next week, first 2-hour Raw since 2012. Think about that. 2012. We got 3 matches so far announced. The IC title will be on the line when Jey Uso defends against Xavier Woods. Sheamus will fight Pete Dunne in a Donnybrook match, and the world title will be on the line when Gunther defends against Sami Zayn. Let me move on to our last monster standing match. It is Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. And hey, you want to take a guess on what happened early in this match? 90 seconds in? It happened in every other match.
What?
90 seconds in, they went to a break. Every other match did that as well, except for the AOP tag match, the AOP match. I can't not. They're AOP forever to me now. They're AOP forever to me now. Anyways, they went to a break 90 seconds in. After Strowman clothesline Reed through the announce table, Reed got up at 6. So there were 5 chairs set up outside the ring, and Strowman ran as slow as he could. This was weird. I don't know if Strowman was like trying to not run fast. Was he hurting? I don't know. But Strowman ran very weird here. He ran the ropes, and then he bounced into Bronson Reed, who fell off the apron through these chairs. This is an awkward looking spot. Strowman attacks Reed with a chair, and they wound up on top of an equipment box. Reed then hoisted Strowman on his shoulders and hit a Death Valley driver through the tables. After another commercial break, Reed tackled Strowman through the barricade and got up at 7. Reed tackled him through another barricade, taking out some fans in the process. Don't know if they're real fans or if they were plants, but these people looked stuck under the barricade. I don't know exactly, but officials and Adam Pearce and everybody ran out really quickly. Reed then hit Strowman with a tsunami, but the referee was distracted and did not count. Reed then hit another tsunami, but the ref still wasn't there. So then the camera, not really sure what to be focusing on because they're cutting a couple of times, and then this is a little awkward. But Reed then left the ring to confront what was going on at ringside. He grabs Adam Pearce at one point as well. Jason Jordan and others then tried to stop Reed. And then Braun Strowman goes to the top rope and does a flying crossbody off the top to the floor below. Holy shit. Both men barely get up by 10. Strowman then went to the top, but Reed chucked a chair right at him. Reed then hit a superplex, and the ring exploded. But I'm pretty sure this was all set up to happen on purpose, because the way it happened the first time with Brock Lesnar and the Big Show, they did it and the ring just collapses immediately. Now every time we see it, they do it, and then there's that second wait, there's that hit, and then the ring falls in sections, kinda. So it's oh, okay, yep, we knew this spot was coming eventually. Crowd chanted holy shit anyways, though. Reed then crawled towards some steel steps that were sitting in the ring, and out comes Seth Rollins. Rollins does a curb stomp onto Bronson Reed on the steps. Strowman barely gets up before 10 and wins the match because Reed does not get up. So the last thing we see is really not Braun Strowman celebrating. Seth Rollins in the ring instead. What do you think of the match itself? I thought it was good. I expected a little bit more from it. What did you think?
I thought the match was pretty good. Other than fans possibly getting injured in this match.
Yeah, I hope it wasn't actually fans.
I hope it wasn't either. The ring collapsing was pretty fun. I called that. I said that was probably going to happen.
Right.
But I like that Fightful tweeted. They took a screenshot of Seth at the end. They were saying Switchblade Seth Rollins.
Oh Lord.
Because of what he was wearing.
Oh, the jacket.
Yeah.
Right.
I sent you that tweet. I don't know if you'll agree or not.
Which one? The Switchblade?
Yeah, I sent you 2 tweets actually.
We'll look it up. Let me go to Twitter. Also, the poll is live if you're watching on Twitch. As I also refresh the other polls. Fightful tweet got taken down. They deleted it. Also, the other one you sent me, it's true. I just don't know when. But as far as the polls do go, let's refresh all of these. As far as the Threads poll goes, everybody that voted on Threads liked Raw. Good to see. As far as the Twitter X poll does go, 87% liked the show, 12% thought it was just all right. Well, 87.9% and 12.1% thought it was just all right. Looking at the YouTube community poll, 83% liked the show, 13% thought it was just all right, and 4% didn't like it. Some of the comments said, I liked it. The end was awesome. The ring broke again, and the ref fell out of the ring again. Person says, are you going to do predictions for Bad Blood? Yes. And then this person said, wow, what a Raw. That main event was brutal. As far as the live poll does go, 87% liked the show, 11% thought it was just all right, and 2% didn't like it. And finally, as far as the threads poll does go, 75% liked the show, 25% thought it was just all right. Now, this coming weekend is Bad Blood, so give me 1 second. We're going to do some predictions, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Coming up this weekend, WWE will be running the Bad Blood Premium Live event from the Allstate Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. With that, 5 matches have been announced for the show, so we're going to run down the card, give you our predictions, let you know who we think can walk out victorious. First off, we do know in a just straight up singles match, it is Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. I'll let you kick it off. Who do you got, Damian or Finn?
See, this is a little bit of a toughie because this one can also go either way. Like, one, Damian can win because, you know, he's the baby face. Finn turned on him and stuff. But you can also have Finn win because, you know, he's the heel, and you can have him winning, like, and give it like a better reason for this thing to continue.
Right.
Which it's going to continue either way, in my opinion. But screw it, I'm going to go Damian.
I'm going Priest. So I'm going to pick Priest as well for the sole fact that we've seen Finn get the upper hand on Damian Priest more times than not recently. So that's why I'm going to say Damian Priest finally, you know, he's going to have all the members of Judgment Day try to get involved. He's going to fight them all off, and then he's going to beat Finn. That's my prediction.
I just thought of an idea.
Go for it.
What if they end this at Mania and they did Finn and JD versus Priest and Bad Bunny?
Oof. I like the idea of the match. I don't like the idea of this extending for another 6-7 months. Like, that just feels a little too dragged out.
Or what if they did at the Rumble?
That would make a little more sense. Next up, we do have a tag team match, a dream match of sorts. It is WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes teaming with Roman Reigns to take on the team of Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. I mean, this was a no-brainer. It's Cody and Roman picking up that victory. It's got to be Cody and Roman.
It's also Roman's first match back since Mania. You have to have him win.
So you're going Cody Roman as well?
Yeah. Also, better idea. Let's say they're Solo and Jacob Fatu are about to get the win and Jey Uso returns.
I mean, that's not a bad idea at all. You see the people over the weekend trying to say Jimmy returned at a live event? They had
show me the proof.
They had a video saying Jey Uso returned at a live event, and it's like, no. That was from some random like Boston live event months and months and months and months ago. So yeah, no. Moving forward.
I don't think Jacob Fatu gets pinned though. I think Solo gets pinned.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Cody pins Solo.
Or what if Roman pins Solo?
Either way works.
I think Roman should pin Solo.
Yeah, because he's been gone for a while. It would make sense. Yeah. Okay.
And plus, what if he gets what's that thing that they put around their neck? The Ubafala that makes him the tribal chief?
Ulafala or Ulafala, something like that.
What if Jimmy grabs it and gives it to Roman?
There you go. I like that. Moving forward with the WWE Women's Championship on the line, it is Nia Jax defending against Bayley. This one's twofold. There's a couple things that can happen here, but before I give my predictions, what do you think walks out the women's champion?
I'd say have Nia retain. I mean, Bayley, she held the belt. Like, she won at Mania. She had herself a little nice, decent little run, but I think keep it on Nia just because, like, I think this is her first defense on a premium live event.
Right.
So, like, give her that first win on that premium live event. Let's see how she does. Like, let her cook almost.
Well, I'm going to both agree and disagree with you. So I think.
I know. I know how you think what's going to happen.
I think Nia retains the title. So my prediction for this match is Nia retains. But I don't think Nia leaves Atlanta with the belt. Because I think Tiffany Stratton's going to cash in on her. Tiffany Epiphany. Cash in on Nia. That's my big prediction.
I feel like that'd be too soon.
They're already teasing it. Last week on SmackDown, Nia choked her. And then after that, Tiffany had this look on her face like, oh, fuck this bitch.
I don't know. I feel like that would be too soon.
So moving forward with the Women's World Championship on the line, Liv Morgan will be defending against Rhea Ripley. Let's say this is another one that's kind of hard to predict. I can see it going either way and being perfectly fine to go either way. But I'm just going to go the safe route and say Liv retains. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go the safe route as well. Just do Liv. Mainly because, like, again, Rhea had a nice run as the women's champion, but keep it on Liv. And I just don't think it'd be a good idea just to give it back to Rhea just because Liv already, like, won the belt not too long ago. So just keep it on Liv a little longer.
And finally, and what I hope is the main event, which might not be the main event, I don't know, is Hell in a Cell. Is Drew McIntyre?
Wait a minute. What about Gunther and Sammy? Is that not for Bad Blood?
That match is next week on Raw.
So, that's kind of lame.
So, well, I talked about it earlier. Gunther always retains on the goddamn. Remember when he was IC champion and always retained on SmackDown? It was always
and Raw.
Well, yeah, but most of his title reign was on SmackDown. Anyways, Hell in a Cell, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk. The end of the feud, they say. But who wins? This is another tough one to predict. I'll let you take it.
Drew McIntyre.
Oh, you say Drew? So we're not in agreement here. I say CM Punk.
I say Drew.
Honestly, I think Punk wins and then moves on to challenging Gunther for the world title. I don't think he beats Gunther, but I think Gunther gets to say, hey, I beat another legend. I think.
I say, sorry to cut you off, but
no, you're good.
I think Drew wins because I know it'd be cool to see Punk win, but I feel like Punk's one of those guys where if you beat him, it's not really going to affect him that much.
But not Drew either. I don't think it would hurt Drew either.
I mean,
well,
Drew's going to last.
Go for it.
Drew's going to last longer in WWE than Punk is right now.
I mean, we'll see.
I just feel like in the long run, it would benefit Drew more.
Okay. I'm going to say CM Punk, though. So this is the one match that we're picking different. So we'll see who gets it in the end. But with that, WWE Bad Blood does come to us this weekend from the State Farm Arena. Remember, the show does start at 6 p.m. Eastern, so it's starting early. Don't know why, but it's starting pretty early. So they've been doing the pay-per-views at 7 Eastern, and this one's starting at 6 Eastern. So yeah, early show. Then I'll be here recapping and reviewing the entire thing afterwards. So we'll see how it all does go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and who you think will be coming out victorious at Bad Blood. But with that, guys, as far as this live stream Raw review does go, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. But Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at Petke_21. And you can also find me over at Twitch at Young Grasshopper Luke.
So with that, guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you back here Wednesday for the 5th anniversary of AEW Dynamite. Have a good one, guys. All right. Still